We saved $25,000 on flights in business class. Our family have recently taken a trip to Central Asia to the beautiful city of Tashkent, Uzbekistan. This is where I'm from, by the way. And we took a flight back from Tashkent to Charlotte. It's where we live now, in business class. We booked those flights on points. We started in Tashkent and we took the flight on Turkish Airlines from Tashkent to Istanbul, from Istanbul to Munich. This was our first business class trip with kids, and I can tell you it was comfortable, relaxing, and so much easier with kids. And it didn't cost as much, so I am here to tell you how we did it. We have been learning the points and miles and have been banking a lot of points. Now, quick disclosure, we own business, so we have a high spending during the year. So now we pretty much monetize every dollar that we've spent. Before I jump into it, I wanted to tell you that I didn't know about the airport lounges that actually exist in most of the airports around the world and in the United States. Basically, you have an access to a lounge. Whether you're flying business class or economy, it doesn't matter because you could be getting food, drinks practically for free with some different credit cards. This particular lounge is in Istanbul. It is business class lounge, but you can get there if you're flying business class product. This is the largest lounge we have been to, and we've been to a handful of them. They have so many different food options. They have a kids playground and all of it. Visiting the lounge during your trip is so relaxing. It's a different level if you're spending the time at the gate or in the lounge where kids have the playroom, you have food options, everybody is happy, sound, and most importantly, are full and not hungry when you're on the plane. I think the best card that can get you the access to lounges around the world in the different airports and in the United States would be a Capital One Venture X. It is an annual fee card, but it is so worth it. I won't tell you much about this card in this video, but I highly recommend you to check it out. And if you're flying business class, you don't need any additional cards. You just go into the business class lounge and enjoy your time before you board the flight. Now, let's get into how we booked those flights. We've started in Tashkent and we were flying to Munich to catch a direct flight to Charlotte because that's where we live. Now, we had a few options on how to arrange this trip, but this is the route we went for. We booked a segment from Tashkent to Munich was one currency, and Munich to Charlotte was a different currency. By currency, I mean points and miles. The reason I did it this way because we were in Tashkent and Tashkent airport doesn't has too many of the flight options. Let's get into the price breakdown. We have paid 30,000 miles per person plus $200 that we were able to book with Capital One miles. So basically the cost was 150,000 miles. And if you ask me how hard it is to accumulate the 150,000 miles, the sign-up bonus is 90,000 points and then your card earns 2 per spending. Now you do the math. It wasn't hard to us to accumulate 150,000 points. This is not the best redemption I could have gotten, but that's the only way that it worked for the dates we had. If we would have booked this flight with cash in business class, it would cost $2,000 per person, and I will be attaching some screenshots. Here's the screenshot of what we booked it for, 30,000 miles plus $200 in cash, and this is the cash price from Tashkent to Munich in business class. Now on to the second segment of our trip. This was Munich to Charlotte on Lufthansa's business class. We booked this flight with a different credit card transfer partner. I will tell you about it in just a little bit. I want you to see what the business class looks like on Lufthansa. Now, this flight was half empty in business class, which is great because we were flying with 3 small children and I was a little hesitant because we were getting a lot of side-eye. Let's look at the price breakdown for this particular flight. We are flying from Munich to Charlotte, and it costed us 63,000 miles plus $157 that we booked with an American Express points. Now, at the time when I was booking this flight, there was a promotion going on. By transferring American points to a Life Miles program, we would be getting a 25% additional bonuses. This is a minor detail, but it's important because credit cards do have promotional transfers where you can actually get more value for your points. This flight in reality costed us 48,000 points instead of 63. As the mom, I absolutely loved the experience in the business class. Let me tell you why. My kids had their own spacious seats that were converted into the lie flat. It is 9.5 hour flight, so my kids were well rested, they slept well, and we as the parents didn't had too much troubles with them. They were all in their seat, they were treated well, they had a lot of the things they could do on the plane, and the space is what matters to us. Because they were well rested and they were well fed and they had things to do, none of them threw a fit in a 9.5 hour flight. There are a lot of opinions whether kids belong in business class or not. Let me tell you something. Kids belong where parents can afford. This was the best flight we ever taken, and we will take more flights in upcoming year. If we would have booked this flight on cash, it would cost approximately $3,000 per person. And I looked up the fare for the round trip because it's always cheaper for international flights. If I look at a one-way fare, it would be at a ridiculous 5,000 something dollars. Here are some snapshots. We've spent 315,000 points, and this is the cost of the same flight in euros, which is a little bit more in US dollars. Here's a quick, I don't know why I took this video, but I kind of found it cool. This lavatory was so huge, and it even has its own window. I was amazed of a lot of things during this trip, and this was our first business class trip with kids. However, we have taken the business class trips with myself and my husband in the past, but this is very special because we took it with 3 of our kids. And let me tell you, before we taken this flight, we hated traveling overseas with kids. It's so uncomfortable, so cramped in economy class where you have to hold them and they crawl over you. Parents will understand how painful it is to fly with kids, especially on the long distances, 9+ hours. So this was a saver. Now, let's get into the final breakdown. For 5 people in business class coming from Central Asia to US, we've spent $1,785 with less than 400,000 points. The cash value of those same 5 business class flight ticket would have been 25,000. So in my girl math, we've saved a ton of money, and we would do it all over again. Thanks for watching. Bye.